All right, we back. Motor City Sports Talk Season 1 preview. We were talking about Week 11. We kind of got twisted backwards. So we did Washington before Minnesota, but we back on track. Week 11, um, Sunday, November 22nd, 1 p.m. on Fox. We take on the Panthers from Carolina. So let's do a season preview on the Carolina Panthers and what changed with them. We played them like a few times in the last 5 years, I believe, to be exact. So I appreciate everybody for checking in. Any of the Carolina Panther fans checking in, appreciate you guys. So we will be at Carolina November 22nd. So let's look at what they've done in free agency, to be exact. The big thing is they moved on from Cam Newton. He's with the New England Patriots. We don't play them this year. They brought in Russell Okung from the Chargers. So via trade, they also bring in Tria Turner, right guard from right guard Tria Turner left for the Chargers. Excuse me. They signed him. Dontari Poe, he leaves and he goes over to the Cowboys. Greg Olsen leaves and goes to the Seahawks. Gerald McCoy went to the Cowboys, but he got released because he got injured. Mario Addison is now with the Bills. They're 3-4 outside linebacker / defensive end. Safety Eric Reed is still without a team. Teddy Bridgewater came over from the Carolina Panthers to replace Cam Newton, another former Detroit Lion. That's kind of been the theme. I think damn near every team we covered we played so far. Tyler Whitehead is a 4-3 outside linebacker for the Panthers coming over from the Raiders. Darrell Williams left the Panthers. They left guard for the Bills. John Miller they brought in from the Bengals at right guard. They re-signed Christian McCaffrey to a big deal. Graham Cano, they kicker lead for the Giants. Bruce Irvin, he goes back to the Seahawks. They lose him. They bring in Eli Apple to play corner. Ross Cockrell, he leaves, cornerback. He's still unsigned. They bring in Robbie Anderson from the Jets, who I love a lot. Michael Pilardi, they re-sign their punter. They let Jarius Wright go. He still ain't found the team. Ardarius Taylor, they bring that linebacker in from the Panthers, 4-3. Michael Schofield, they bring him in for the Chargers. Trey Boston, they retain him, like him a lot. Vernon Butler, 3-4 defensive end, they lose him to the Bills. Seth Roberts, they bring him from the Ravens. He used to be with the Raiders as well. Linebacker Julian Stanford, they bring him from the Bills inside. They bring in, they lose Chris Hogan to the New York Jets. I didn't even know he was over there at one point. Kyle Love is still, the defensive tackle, still out there. They lose Colin Jones, safety, he's still out there. James Bradbury, he signed with the Giants. Remember, he spun an offer from the Lions that was worth more money than the Giants paid him. He said it was about to fit. But some of those Panthers guys in the front office is over there with the Giants as well. So he know the system. Graham Van Rotten, he left them for the Jets, left guard. Other than that, it ain't too many other people. People see Rasul Butler. He ended up going over there from the Eagles. I guess the Eagles released him. They tried to trade him. They got a lot of turnover with a new coach, Matt Rule, that came from Baylor. But nobody else are really. Andre Smith, they let him go, inside linebacker. So it was a whole bunch of other small people they let go or might have brought back. So we move on to the draft picks. I mean, Carolina under Ron Rivera, who's now with the Ravens, has always been big on interior linemen. They continue that with the 7th pick. They take Derek Brown out of Auburn. There was some talk should the Lions take him. They also took with the 38th pick in the 2nd round defensive end out of Penn State. Yuri Moss Matos, can't pronounce his name at all. They had another 2nd round pick, Jeremy Chin, safety from South Carolina. They take Troy Pride Jr., cornerback, in the 4th round from Notre Dame. The 5th round, they took Kenny Robinson, cornerback, West Virginia. They took Brevine Roy, defensive line, Baylor, in the 6th round. I guess he played for Matt Rule. And in the 7th round, they took Stanley Thomas Oliver, cornerback out of Florida International. So I don't know a lot of these dudes they drafted. I didn't kind of look at some of these dudes for the Lions this year. But I do know Derek Brown, and I think he should fit well in Carolina. So let's go over their depth chart real quick. Okay. Obviously, they got DJ Moore, receiver, and Robbie Anderson and Curtis Samuels in the slot. They got a really good receiving core. I think that's the best receiving core they ever had. Camden had that receiving core. I like all 3 of those receivers. And I think Curtis Samuels should really grow this year, and DJ Moore should grow as well. They got Urso Kuhn at left tackle, Dennis Daly at left guard. They got Matt Mardis at center, John Miller at right guard, and Taylor Modden at right tackle, Ian Thomas is their tight end. Teddy Bridgewater is their quarterback. Real Greer backing him up. And P.J. Hall, who came from XFL and lighten it up. So he their third string quarterback. Christian McCaffrey, the running back. Mike Davis is the backup running back. He used to play for Chicago. Trent Cannon backing him up. Fullback is Alex Armin. Look at their defense. Stephen Wimberly is their left defensive end. And nose tackle is Derek Brown. Kewan Short is their other defensive tackle. Their right defensive tackle, Brian Burns. I believe he got drafted just a couple years ago as well, too. They got Tyler Whitehead started in middle. Started in that middle. Also, they got Jermaine Carter Jr. outside and Shaq Thompson at outside. Also, they got Dante Jackson at left corner. Right corner, Eli Apple. Trey Boston at free safety. And Justin Burris at strong safety. The kicker is Joseph Carlton. The punter is Joey Sly. And the kick returner is going to be Farrell Cooper and punt returner, and DJ Moore backing them up in that, situation. But, obviously on paper, this should be a game the Lions win, in my opinion. I'm not huge on Teddy Bridgewater. He's just not aggressive. He's more of a check down quarterback. Obviously, he won some games from New Orleans last year. But I just don't he's just like a bridge guy. Obviously, his name Bridgewater. He's just not a guy that you want to be your starting quarterback to bring stability. At some point, I think they're either going to develop Real Greer or they're going to draft a quarterback pretty high. But they're a solid football team because Christian McCaffrey was putting up numbers without Cam Newton and with Real Greer and Kyle Allen last year, who now with Rob Rivera with the Washington football team. But you know what? He might can do something this year, depending on if they can block for him. I'm not sure about most of the linemen that they got, but they never put a good line around Cam Newton, and that was always the issue. But he got some good pass catchers if they can stay healthy. I mean, they got Seth Rogers backing up three really good receivers. Curtis Samuel starting to grow out the slot. DJ Moore is, I think would he be in his second season in the league, or third, out of Maryland. He's starting to ball out. Robbie Anderson is big time. He a good down the field threat, and Curtis Samuel can work the slot. So weapon-wise, Carolina dope. It's just going to boil down to can they block Teddy Bridgewater, and can Teddy Bridgewater take the next step? Even before that gruesome leg injury, he just never really stood out to me as somebody that's going to go out there and ball, and that's going to take the bull by the horns. People talking about how Tom Brady is a dink and Dak quarterback and how Dak don't take no chances, but them dudes have been way more aggressive, with throwing the football than Teddy Bridgewater has. Bridgewater just, he don't look to be aggressive. And like I said before, I just don't think this is a long-term fit. But I'm pulling for him. I like him coming out of Louisville. Always pull for the black quarterbacks. But he just don't have that moxie. He don't have that aggressiveness. He won't lose a football game for you, but he won't win it neither. But it might be a perfect match because you're giving the ball to Christian McCaffrey. And then, and then you play action off of that. And you got Robbie Anderson and Curtis Samuels, DJ Moore down the field doing their thing. I think this can work for them. They might be a sneaky, scary team, but I just don't see Bridgewater just having enough just aggressiveness. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my synopsis of it right there. Looking at the defense, I don't know what Matt Rule gonna bring defensive wise. Ron Rivera had a system that worked. They didn't have to have the best corners, but they had a system that worked. They was dominant in the front end. They was adequate in the back end. They played that zone defense, and they was really, really good. And with Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis, and those guys up front, they was good for a long time. But now it's a new era with Brian Burns and, Derek Brown. You bring Kewan Short that been there for a second as well, too. So, you're looking at the defense, don't nothing really stand out to you at all. But Derek Brown and Kewan Short, the interior of that defense is pretty much where their strength is at. Other than that, I don't see anybody that stands out to me. I like Trey Boston, but outside of that, their defense look pretty much pedestrian, and it's in transition mode. They lost so many guys over the years, Julius Peppers, and they had another defensive end guy, I can't remember his name, that was really, really good, and they lost Star Lelo Tuea, whatever his damn name was. They lost a lot of guys off that defense over the years, man, and they lost the cornerback we just mentioned that went to the Giants, Bradbury. They lost Josh Norman over the years. They just lost a lot of people And this team in transition mode. Matt Rule is a good college coach, but is he a good, or adequate head coaching guy in the NFL? Is the $1 million question. But to be honest, it look, they solid. I think they'll be a team that probably be around 6-7 wins. If Bridgewater step up and become more aggressive, they might be a team that might be sneaky in the NFC South. But how we match up versus them, our defense and their offense, all about stopping Christian McCaffrey. Got to be honest, run lanes. That's been the issue. The Lions, under Matt Patricia, Damon Harrison talked about how they couldn't figure out, it was a disconnect between him teaching how to stop the run and them understanding it. So hopefully Corey Euler his defense is more easy to digest about how stopping a run and how attack blockers and how to play your run lane and have gap discipline. If they don't have gap discipline versus Christian McCaffrey, he gonna run and catch all over them all day and then keep running. So when you playing them, shutting down Christian McCaffrey, you know what I'm saying, it's the number one thing. You want Teddy Bridgewater to have to drop back and beat you and throw downfield. So you want to take away all them swing routes, wheel routes, Texas circle routes, option routes. You want to shut down McCaffrey in the run game. And then you want to make Teddy Bridgewater make the throws down the field. And they got the receivers, but, he just seemed to like to not go downfield a lot. So it's all about stopping Christian McCaffrey and making Teddy Bridgewater beat you with his arm when we're talking about facing Carolina. But also you got to get pressure, and that's kind of been the Achilles heel on the Lions, under Patricia. We ain't really been able to get that pressure on the quarterback. And if you don't pressure Teddy Bridgewater, even if you stop the run, you still going to have a problem. If you let a quarterback got all day to throw and he can go through your prevent defense and pick it apart in the pocket, that's just still forever going to be a problem for them as well. So, this offense is getting after the stopping the run, stopping McCaffrey, getting after the passer, and making plays on the football. Now our offense going against this defense, you know what I'm saying, it's going to come down to interior. Can we run the ball? And that's kind of going to be the theme of every season preview I'm doing. Every game I'm going to break down and predict. Can we run the ball? They got two really good defensive tackles on paper, Keywan Short and Derek Brown. And can we protect on the interior? We know Ragnar going to do his job, but Dell and Jonah Jackson might have some issues. It's a good tandem. And then you got Brian Burns coming off the edge as well, too. But if they can protect on the interior, they can protect on the edge, and they can run the ball versus Carolina, then the matchup's in our favor. Eli Apple can't guard none of our receivers. I don't know who Dante Jackson is, but we have to see. But our receivers match up good. Our tight ends match up good with their linebackers as well, too. Going outside, especially if it ain't no weather issues, we should be in a situation where we be able to, offensively do what we want to do. But when the dome team go outside and when the Lions go outside, it kind of switches up from time to time. So, they got they defense in transition. But if we can't run the football on them and protect on the interior, Derek Brown and Keywan Short can wreak some havoc, and Brian Burns off the edge can wreak some havoc as well, too. So that's the kind of situation we in, battling them, man. And obviously special teams got to be important, too. Tackling, wrapping up, not jumping off sides, not giving up field goal blocks, and all that other stuff as well, too. But Carolina is a team that nobody talking about, with a coach that a lot of people trying to see if he can be able to, control the reins over there in Carolina. But I think they'd be a solid football team. Would it shock me if they was a playoff team? I'd be a bit shocked, but I won't be totally shocked because you got Christian McCaffrey, the best running back in the league. They got some really good skill position players, but I just don't see them being a playoff team. But, anytime you go on a roll, and at this point, they might have fans in the stands or they may not, this may be more of a difficult game. But this should be a game that the Lions win. This is a game that, if you want to make the playoffs, you got to win. You got to win the games you're supposed to, and you got to win a few you're not supposed to win. But also, you got to win on the road. So, we'll see. No fans. Could be a little cold in Carolina. But it should be a football game that the Lions should win. Bridgewater should be toast, and McCaffrey, if they do win, McCaffrey gonna dominate, and we ain't gonna be able to protect Stafford, or so we gonna have some injuries. So, at the end of the day, Carolina a solid squad. We respect, McCaffrey, respect Teddy Bridgewater, but key to winning this game is taking down McCaffrey and putting up some points. So let me know what you guys think about this season preview. I'll do another one, and then I'll finish the next two up Tuesday, God willing. Don't forget, we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Also, you can reach out if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request. Keep sharing the videos. Want to make a donation? Cash App, CJ Good 313, PayPal link in the description. Best way to donate. Share the video. Let me know what you guys think about the season preview. We on to the next. One time for the one time we gone.